All right, so this video is all about fragrances from the House of Lattafa specifically, because that was the question, that work well within the office. We're going to talk about it. It was suggested, or it was requested by one of you in the comments. We're going to talk about it. Stick around. All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, and you're watching SmellGoodz. This video is a response to a comment that was left on one of the videos, and so we're gonna rock with it. And so if there are things that you want to see, I'm trying to get better about responding to the comments as far as when there's questions and things of that nature, but go to the community tab for the channel and you can go ahead and put that in there. I may start a thread as far as your video requests or things of that nature. That way I can begin to answer some of those things that you all are asking. All right, but this one was in particular from Simon Colt 3860 is their moniker. I'm looking over my computer here. And they asked specifically, I'll put it up on the screen as well. Great video. Which fragrances from Lattafa would you recommend for the office? I was thinking about Lattafa Black or Alchem Silver, but I haven't smelled them yet. So I've got one of those in my collection, along with some others that I have worn from Lattafa to the office. So I figured, great topic, great question. We'll go ahead and do that. All right. Do me the favor though, as you're here, if you have not already, do me the favor, do me the honor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, request notifications, share, and then meet me in the comments like Simon did. And we can go ahead and have some conversations around these things that we love and enjoy, being fragrances. All right, so I'm going to give you, I pulled 6, I'm going to give you 5 for sure, and then one that, depending on how you feel, I've worn it to the office. I just don't overspray it, and I'll tell you which one that is. But I want to give you 6. I'm going to give you 6 fragrances from Lattafa specifically. This is just Lattafa that work well for the office that I've worn to the office. All right, first one up is Lattafa's Hayati. This is their take on Invictus. And yes, it gets in that Invictus space, Invictus DNA. The freshness of it definitely, I think, works good for the office. Again, with the office, for me, you don't want something that is too complex. You don't want something that is overbearing, something that is, you want people to smell you as far as the scent trail, but you don't need to be choking out the office, right? So this is something that I think works well for the office. No matter what type of office you're in, it's a nice, fresh type of scent that you can put into your rotation. So again, that was Hayati, and this is the black bottle from Lattafa. All right. Next one up is one that it definitely has been worn a lot from me in my office. This is the one that it is one of my top Lattafas as far as how I rank them. But also it is one that, it's weird enough, I've gotten 2, maybe 3 people asking me, was it Sauvage? It's not Sauvage. It's not doing a take on Sauvage. It's doing a take on something very different. But if that's what they're picking up for it, great. I'm not going to fault them. The fact is, do I smell great? All right. I'm talking about from Lattafa, of course. This is Vintage Radio, and this is their take on Initials Paragon. You got the plum. You've got all these things. It works for me for the office. As far as even seasonality, I've worn this. Well, winter here is a little different from everybody else's winter, but I've worn this all year round since I've gotten it. So I've worn it, I think I got it late fall last year. So I've worn it in the winter, I've worn it the spring, I've worn it the summer, and this will be worn again as we move back into fall and move into winter. But definitely something you might consider for your office rotation from Lattafa. We're talking Vintage Radio. All right. And then the next one up is one that, yes, was mentioned as far as a great fragrance. This is doing its take on YSL. Why? And that soapy, shower gelish type of scent does it well, works well for office if you're of that age, school as well. But this is something that, yeah, you might consider. This is Lattafa Black. I've got to check out there's Lattafa Palatine or whatever, the white or silver bottle. I've got to check that out. But yeah, this one right here does a really good job of getting in that space and works for your office scenario situation. This one, you might even, because of the price, you might even have a bottle just in your office, in your desk drawer. That way, because longevity, sometimes I've had man, it might just be I didn't moisturize. Sometimes it's been decent. Sometimes it's been like, but either way, you can have a backup bottle of this in your drawer. That way at work, that way you can go ahead and rock this all day. All right. Again, that is Lattafa's Mar Black. All right. Number 4 on my list, again, not any particular order. I'm not ranking these or anything of that nature. This is just how I grab them and how I place them on my desk so we can talk about them. This one is one that I absolutely enjoy, absolutely adore. It is from Lattafa, of course. This is Liam Gray. This is their take on Gris Chanel. You've got fig, you've got a tea note in here. This probably works best, of course, fall, winter, even spring. But I've worn this to the office. I will wear this to the office. I'll continue wearing this to the office. It is just that nice of a scent. Gris Chanel is on my one of my fragrances as far as the OG that I am planning to get at some point, right? But this is definitely scratching the itch for it and does a good job of doing its take on it, and might be something you might want to consider adding into your fragrance rotation for your office drivers. All right. Next one up is one. Now this is one that I've worn to the office as well. In fact, again, I won't keep saying that. All of them I've worn to the office. But this particular one, I've gotten quite a few compliments when I've worn it to the office. It is one I will caution, one of the ones. There's another one I definitely will caution you about. This one I will caution you a little bit about overspraying, just because it's a little sweet. It's a sweet take on what it's doing its copy of. What is clone of, and that sweetness could become, could be problematic if you continue to overspray it, right? However, I think it works well. This is from Lattafa. This is Art of Universe, and this is their take on Blue Talisman. But it's, like I said, it's a sweeter take on it. Don't overspray this one. You definitely want to spray so that you have that nice aura around you, what have you, but don't go crazy with it. All right. Not the best Blue Talisman take, so it's not going for that as far as the way I'm considering it, but it definitely is something that puts you in the space, something that gets you there and works for your office scenarios. All right. Again, that was Art of Universe from Lattafa. All right. And then the last one, and this is one that I said I'll include, but give you some caveats, but also I've worn it to work. For you, it may not work for work. But I think it can work for work, just because it is what I would call an elevated scent. It is one that I think definitely finds its home when we're talking about banquets, or we're talking about even weddings, especially during the spring, that type of thing. But I'm a fan also of wear what you want when you want to wear it. But if we're talking about office fragrances, office scents, this is something that could work in there. And this is Lattafa's Amir, which is doing their take on Clive Christian's Town and Country. Definitely like an elevated citrus and woods type of fragrance. But this one, I will tell you, this is one I'm going to put a disclaimer. I'm going to put a warning. I'm going to put all the things to kind of, this is a room shifter. This one, it will last. I've gotten great performance out of this. So this one I would not recommend. I really am going to caution, and I'm going to warn you against overspraying, period, point blank. Why? This one, like I said, is a room shifter, but it can work for the office. Again, Amir from Lattafa. All right, that's it. I've given you a total of 6 fragrances from the house of Lattafa that are work for office. There's some others that probably could have thrown in here, but they're too much on the fence, because there's too many caveats that have to be given with them, right? But I wanted to give you some basic ones just to get the conversation running. And then let me know in the comments if you have others from the house of Lattafa that are definitely your go-to standards for the office. That's it. Again, let me know your thoughts. See you all next time. Stay safe, stay sane, stay smelling good. Check out the videos around, and then also hit that like, subscribe, request notification, share. Check out the description, and the new shirts are available in the store. Check that out as well. See y'all next time. Be blessed. Peace.